Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in EDH. Today we're looking at Queen Kayla bin-Kroog. So Queen Kayla bin-Kroog is a 3-mana Boros commander. She's a 2/3 with 4 tap. Discard all the cards in your hand and then draw that many cards. You may choose an artifact or creature card with mana value 1 you discarded this way. Then do the same for artifacts or creatures with mana values 2 and 3. Return those cards to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. So obviously a lot of investment in here up front. 3 to cast, 4 to activate. And it does require that you discard all the cards in your hand. But with that said, it allows you to potentially cheat 6 mana worth of creatures or artifacts onto the battlefield. So the main thing we're trying to do here is we're trying to see if we can activate Queen Kayla multiple times in a turn, either with getting additional mana or cost reduction on her ability and untap effects. And we're eventually trying to assemble a combo, because since we're limited to only mana values 1 through 3, it's unlikely we're going to be able to find, big bombs that we can win the game with, so combo route it is. So as far as our combos go, we have certain cards that multiply Queen Kayla's ability. So things like Battle Mage's Bracers, Illusionist Bracers, and Rings of Brighthearth can all be spent towards getting additional activations on Queen Kayla. We also have Zirda to reduce the cost of Queen Kayla's ability. And then the main thing we're trying to do here is find the Jolly Balloon Man and Village Bellringer. So with Jolly Balloon Man, we can copy Village Bellringer, which will untap all creatures, including Queen Kayla and the Jolly Balloon Man. And then as long as we have creatures on the battlefield that can produce at least 1 mana for Jolly Balloon Man, we can keep making copies of Village Bellringer and have infinite attackers. And if we have more than 1 mana worth of creatures that we untap, then we also get infinite mana. We also have infinite mana from Zirda plus Basalt Monolith, so that is another route we can go here. Additionally, we have Basalt Monolith plus Rings of Brighthearth to also make infinite mana, and these 2 cards go infinite with Sensei's Divining Top. So if you have your infinite mana with Basalt Monolith plus Rings of Brighthearth, you can activate Top and then copy that ability with Rings of Brighthearth. So you get to draw a card, put Sensei's Top on top of your deck, and then draw a card as well. So you will get to draw your entire deck off of this ability. Also worth mentioning down here that Zirda plus Grim Monolith is yet another way of going infinite colorless. So anyways, we have Scroll Rack here as a way of filtering our hand, and this is also important because it allows us to selectively stack cards of different mana values from our hand onto our deck, and then when we activate Queen Kayla, we can cheat exactly what we want onto the battlefield. We have a number of card draw spells. We are doing things that involve a lot of creatures, so cards like Enduring Innocence and Welcoming Vampire are better than normal. We have a fairly straightforward Boros mana base, not much to see here. Some protection. Obviously, Queen Kayla is a pretty big investment. We need to make sure she doesn't get countered or killed, so all the bombs, Deflecting Swat, Defense Grid, Grand Abolisher, etc. It's also helpful if we can activate her immediately, although it's unlikely that we'll have all the mana to both cast and activate her the moment we have the opportunity. We can have some haste with Lightning Greaves, and this just doubles as protection for her. A bunch of ramp, which, as I've stated earlier, skews towards creatures because we need creatures in order to do the infinite combos with Village Bellringer. Then we've got some welding action with Goblin Engineer and Goblin Welder. So a number of our combos involve cards like Basalt Monolith, Rings of Brighthearth, etc. So if we can tutor for those or weld them out of our graveyard, that's of help. Grap Trawler also helps get back certain cards when we're sacrificing things. And we've got a number of removal spells, including artifacts that act as removal because these work again with our welders. So Duskgrow's Reliquary, Unidentified Hovership, and Portable Hole. It's also worth noting that Lauren of the Third Path can be a part of combos where we're doing infinite Village Bellringer stuff. So if we need to draw cards for whatever reason, this will also untap. Then we're in Boros colors, and we're trying to do certain combos with Queen Kayla, so obviously we're going to be running a bunch of stacks cards, including our taxing effects, Rule of Laws, and in this deck, Blood Moons. So we have a priority of fetching out planes before these come down, but we can do so. Number of tutors as well, including cards like Imperial, Recruiter of the Guard, and Oswald Fiddlebender to find our cards. And then finally, Library of Laying is a card that basically allows us to, if we discard, instead of the cards going to the graveyard, we can put them on top of our deck. It's also only 1 mana and therefore fetchable off of Urza's Saga. So with that said, that is going to do it for Queen Kayla bin-Kroog in EDH.